The situation in Buffalo Narrows was dire as a massive wildfire approached the village from the south. The fire, which started on May 3, had grown to over 25,000 hectares in size and was spreading rapidly. The smoke from the fire posed a serious health risk for the residents, especially those with chronic conditions, elders, pregnant women and young children. On May 14, Mayor Sandy Erickson declared a state of local emergency and issued evacuation notices for people at a higher risk of health complications from smoke inhalation. The village set up a reception center to help with the evacuation and arranged buses to transport people to Lloydminster. Residents were also given the option to evacuate on their own. However, the evacuation was not easy as the fire changed directions and crossed Highway 155, which was the main route out of the village. The highway was closed for several hours, leaving many evacuees stranded in Buffalo Narrows. To make matters worse, the power was out in the entire region due to power lines catching fire. The evacuees had to wait until the highway reopened before they could leave the village safely. The state of emergency and evacuation notices were a necessary measure to protect the lives and health of the Buffalo Narrows residents as they faced the threat of the wildfire. The village showed resilience and solidarity as they dealt with this crisis. The wildfire that threatened Buffalo Narrows was a fast-moving and destructive force that grew rapidly in size and intensity. According to NASA, the fire was reported as just under 10,000 hectares in size on Saturday, May 13. But by Sunday morning, it had more than doubled to over 25,000 hectares, fueled by strong winds and dry conditions. The fire was so powerful that it jumped across Highway 155, the only southern exit from the community, cutting off the main route for evacuation. The highway was closed for several hours as firefighters battled to contain the flames and protect the nearby homes and businesses. The fire also damaged power lines, causing a blackout in the village. The residents of Buffalo Narrows faced a terrifying situation as they watched the smoke and flames approach their community. Some of them had to leave their belongings behind and flee for their safety, while others stayed behind to help their neighbors and defend their properties. The village declared a state of local emergency on Sunday afternoon and issued evacuation notices for people at a higher risk of health complications from smoke inhalation. Buses began to evacuate people to Lloydminster from the community at around 2 p.m. Sunday, while residents were also given the option to evacuate on their own. The government provided support and assistance to the evacuees, as well as to the firefighters and emergency workers who risked their lives to fight the fire. Thanks to their efforts, no lives were lost and no major injuries were reported. However, the wildfire left a trail of devastation and uncertainty for the people of Buffalo Narrows, who wondered when they could return to their homes and what they would find when they did. The wildfires that raged near Buffalo Narrows in May 2023 posed a serious threat to the residents of the northern village. The flames were so intense that they jumped across Highway 155, the only southern exit from the community. Some people were stranded on the side of the road as the highway was closed for safety reasons. How did the government help these people escape the inferno and restore normalcy to their lives? The government provided buses, food, accommodation and escorts through the fire zone for those who needed to evacuate. Buffalo Narrows Mayor Sandy Erickson said that essential services were also escorted through the fire, including power crews who worked to restore electricity to the community after power lines caught fire. The village of Île-à-la-Crosse, which is about 70 kilometers southeast of Buffalo Narrows, offered food and accommodations for residents stuck in their area. The government also deployed water bombers and firefighting crews to battle the blaze, which spanned about 25,000 hectares at its peak. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency, SPSA, said that the fire exhibited extreme fire behavior and significant growth, similar to what was seen across Western Canada and the U.S. At that time. The SPSA also moved some industrial air cleaners to the area to provide a cleaner atmosphere for those who had respiratory issues due to smoke. The government's efforts were crucial in preventing the fire from spreading eastward toward the communities of St. George's Hill and Dillon Lake, which are over 20 kilometers from the fire. The SPSA said that it worked closely with the leadership of these communities to keep them advised and updated on the impacts of the wildfire. Thanks to the government's help, Buffalo Narrows and its neighboring villages were able to survive the wildfire crisis and recover from its damages. The residents expressed their gratitude and appreciation for the support they received during this difficult time.